Okay, next up. Donald Trump. We're back to Donald Trump. We can't get away from this guy. Recent polling shows Donald Trump either tied or even winning in the state of Minnesota. Now, Minnesota's a weird state. Minnesota's a super weird state because it's always close, but the Republicans never win in the presidential election. The Democrats always take it, at least since, the 70s. The last time a Republican won in Minnesota was 72 in Nixon. Ronald Reagan in 1984 won every single state except Minnesota. And he lost by like a couple hundred votes, if I remember correctly. Trump almost won it in 2016, lost to Hillary by a few thousand. It was even somewhat close in 2020. So it's a weird state. It just always goes one way. Now, if Trump wins Minnesota or is even competitive, common logic would say he's going to dog walk Biden in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, because those states are all very similar demographics. But Trump's up. So why would this happen? And I'll tell you why. Why I think that if Minnesota's going to flip red, this is the year it's going to happen. There's got to be something drastic that happens for a state like that, a reliably Democratic state like Minnesota, to turn blue. Well, to flip colors. Minnesota, I don't know. Do you know that Minnesota is the number one place in the country for Somali refugees? Did you know that? People from Somalia.
Isn't that where the one senator or Congress?
Omar?
Yeah.
The one that married her brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she's Somali too. So we'll get into that in a second. Most of them settled in Minneapolis, which is common. That's not just Somalians. I want to make that clear. All the time you will see refugees will all go to the same place, which makes sense because they don't speak the language. They're not accustomed to the culture. So they want to go somewhere where there's more people like them. That's normal. Like the Karens who are being like genocided in Burma and Myanmar, or whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of them in Omaha. There's a ton of them settled in Omaha. I think there's some in Lincoln too. But if you go, like, especially up north, you will see a ton of Karens up there, of Karen refugees and their families up there. So Minnesota is full of Somalis. There's a ton of them there, especially Minneapolis, St. Paul, Bloomington area. Check out this picture here. We're going to pull the picture up. The state of Minnesota recently changed their flag. Go ahead, pull this up here. That's the Minnesotan flag and the Somalian flag. Not quite the same, but pretty damn close. So again, when you have that change taking place, you can close it out now. And then you have people like Ilhan Omar, elected representatives to serve the people of her district, going on stage and saying, I'm here to serve Somalia first. That's going to piss a lot of people off. And there's a lot of people that are going to feel like they aren't represented in the state of Minnesota that may have otherwise stayed home, or independents that typically vote blue. They might want to stick it to old Joe because they feel that they're being replaced. They feel they're being overrun. And I have no problem with people coming here from other countries. I want to make that clear. But those people that come from other countries need to... I know, I saved myself.
Those people.
I don't care if you're from Greece or Somalia. It doesn't matter when I say... I'm just talking those people, immigrants, refugees, whatever. I have no problem with people, though, wanting to keep their cultural traditions. Eat your foods, do your dances, worship how you want to worship. That's absolutely fine with me. But do not expect everyone else to assimilate into your culture. You're moving here. You're not invading, right? Right. You're not taking over. It's not a hostile takeover, right? Please say right. I'm not talking to you. Sarcastic. You don't get to expect everyone else to cater to your desires, though. To try to blend in and fit in with you. It's on you. You go to the new school, you got to blend in with the other kids. You don't demand everyone else changes their ways for your customs that you did things, because you went to a public school and now you're in private school. You don't get to demand that everyone else changes stuff up. It's not how it works. Sorry. It's not. So people are getting pissed because I don't know, like, if you go to Minneapolis and St. Paul, it's not great up there right now. It's not great. And I have nothing against Somalis, but let's take a look at their country and the current state of it and ask ourselves, is that really a country that we want to emulate? Maybe they're plenty of nice people. I've met Somalis, plenty of nice people. Not too great at running a country, though, as evidenced by their country. So maybe, just maybe, we don't let them totally hijack the culture in an area. And I know the clapback is always, well, Caleb, you're on stolen land. This land was taken from the Native Americans and blah, 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 blah. And you know what? You're 100% right. I embrace that argument from people. I embrace that argument because the Native Americans, me as people, are the perfect example of what happens when a society does not protect its borders. When they let anyone in, they don't vet them, they let them move wherever the hell they want, and they let them do whatever the hell they want. That's the perfect example. We should look back at what happened to the Native Americans as a reason for us to want to secure our borders. Because what happens when you don't secure your borders? What happens when you let anyone come in willy-nilly and you try to just be nice and friendly with them because you don't want to hurt the newcomers' feelings? They slowly start to erode your culture. You have no idea who the hell's coming into your country. And a lot of the times, don't necessarily have your best interest at heart. So I think the Native American argument is the perfect example. Yes, we are on stolen land. It's fucked up what happened, but we won the war. It is what it is. That's the perfect example of why it is so important for a country to know who the hell's coming in and limit the amount of people that come here. Because your culture does get destroyed when that happens. The Native Americans' culture was destroyed by the Europeans. I completely agree with that. I completely agree with that. And it's because they were way too trusting of people that didn't share the same values as them. So let's learn from history and not make that same mistake.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the link in the description to get the full episode on Rumble. If you prefer to listen along, you can actually get us on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more about not just my show, but tons of other great shows and all the exciting projects they have coming up. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, at Caleb Salvatore Comedy on the Chinese Spy app that is TikTok, and be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks, and we'll see you every Saturday for brand new episodes of That's Based. Peace.